This has to be interactive and fast, so I don't want to start calling out names. So while I'm waiting for your introduction, my name is Adepoju Oluwatumininu. I'm the convener of Read NGR, and we impact the entire world. Today is going to be amazing. The song I picked, Wall of Fame, is very instructive to the webinar we are going to be listening to today. As you can see in my background, I think it was in 2022, 2020, yeah, 2022, I was recognized as one of the top 100 career women in Nigeria. In 2023, I was recognized as one of the top 50 women in management in Africa. This year, 2026, I've already gotten the CEO award that was recognized as part of top management for the CEO award in my organization. So all of these things is possible and would be breaking it down. And I tell you for free that there is this sweetness that comes with being recognized on the wall of fame. I remember when I went to Tanzania to receive my award as one of the top 50 women in management in Africa. I actually had the award handed over to me by one of their former presidents, and it was such a surreal moment, all the cameras when the light is on you, simply by the work you are doing day to day, the power of strong work ethics. That's just what this is all about. But today is not about me, it's about principles. I'm just trying to tell you that these principles work and I've experienced it. And I want your testimonials to be next. So please introduce yourself. I'm not saying any, and currently I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm streaming live from Lagos, Nigeria. So we want to meet you. We want to know where you're joining us from so that we can just, if not, I'll be forced to call out your name. So, Jared, do you mind unmuting your mic? Where are you joining us from? Is this your first time? What are your expectations? Who else do I see? Here, Jared.
Hello.
Hello, Jared.
Hello, I'm Jared Bayrit from the Philippines. It's my first time joining here, and I guess my expectation is to learn about strong work ethic.
Amazing. And you will learn about strong work ethics. Thank you, Jared, from the Philippines. Okay, I can see Lua Kemi from Lagos. This is Erwin also from the Philippines, joining, learning, want to learn about work ethics. Can you tell us how you heard about us? How did you hear about this webinar? We equally have Ernest here. Ernest, where are you joining us from? Are you equally joining from the Philippines? Emmanuel Adesina, where are you joining us from? Oluwakemi, Ayeniberu, Olanyinka, Ogunshola, Odunayo, Adebayo, where are you joining us from? Okay, for the sake of our time, because today is going to be pure amazing, I'm going to be telling you about the Read NGR. The Read NGR is a non-profit, non-governmental community organization that offers free coaching, free developmental life coaching to everybody in the world. So I'm glad to have, oh yeah, this is Odua, you're from Ibadan, you're welcome. So it doesn't matter where you are. Once you have the internet, you can join our programs. Then every month we read a book and we have a speaker. And this month is very special because the book we read, we have the author himself as our speaker. So it is going to be just pure amazing. And next month is going to be very special because the book we are reading, and oh yeah, Olayinka from Shaki, your state, amazing, amazing, welcome. We are having people from all over. The book we are reading next month also, we are having the author come to do the review, so it's going to be pure amazing. Without wasting our time today, okay, yeah, this is Tyrese from NS, is from the Philippines, and also as a requirement for the subject. Okay, for our people from the Philippines, Can you tell us how you heard about us? Well, how did you get to hear about this webinar? Last month, we had quite a number of people from the US join us. I hope they will still join today. We have a partner from KPMG who is an author. So, as in, today is going to be amazing. I know quite a number of us find work overwhelming. So you start wondering, how do people juggle writing book with being star performer at their work? They are still standing out. There is no conflict. There's no this. I'm not going to be taking your time with no much further ceremony. Please let me see your favorite emojis in the chat room as I bring up Pastor Bukunmi, who is absolutely amazing when it comes to this topic. I've heard lots of people speak about work ethics, but it's one person that I always doff my hat anytime he's speaking. My ears are open, my books, my writing pads, everything is always up because believe me, this is the turning point you need for your year. This is the turning point you need for your career. And I'm not just talking. I'm not. I've listened to him severally, and there is no time that my mindset has not shifted. And for that, I'm grateful. Thank you so much, sir, for making out time out of your very busy schedule to come meet us. We don't take it for granted. Thank you. You're muted. You need to unmute.
Now you need to unmute. It's one of the most popular things people say now in this new age world of ours. I'm trying to see if I can see myself. I don't know. Can you see me? Can you see
Yes,
me?
we can. Yes, we
You
can
can see
see
me.
you. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, great. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, now I can't see myself, which is very strange. But let me just see. Yes, I like to see how I look online, so I just be sure that. Okay, maybe anyway. I'll just get right into it. So it's all part of being able to adapt and part of the work ethics thing we're talking about today. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you for the feedback. I was quickly sending some reminder messages to some of my people in my contact so that they could join. It's always a pleasure to speak to me, to speak on behalf of to me, because she puts me on the platform. If I say something that is off, she's the one people will go for or go after. And that's something that we also talk about. When she invited me to come speak, in fact, as I can tell you that till like 30 minutes ago, I was looking at my notes because 45 minutes is not enough time to really do justice to this topic. So the question I ask myself is, what do I really focus on? I have like 3 different notes that I was
You
going
have
to
one
refer
hour,
to.
sir. For just to start,
Oh,
you have 1 hour. And we have 30 minutes
okay.
questions and answers. Yeah. So we are
Okay
ready.
then. Oh, okay. So 1 hour. Okay. Because I saw 45 minutes on the agenda before,
One
so I
hour,
was
sir. No,
already thinking
we've
I'm
respected
going to.
ourselves.
Okay. Just let me just, because I wanted to send a message to some of my contacts so that they could join. Okay, let me just post this here. And then I believe more people will join as we go on. Okay, so good evening, good morning, good afternoon, because I do see that there are people from different parts of the world. So because at times we in West Africa or Nigeria often forget that there may be people that we need to understand that they are in different time zones. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're listening, wherever you get to listen to this, because this is being recorded. So I believe that this will be shared and many more people will get to benefit from the learnings that we will share today. First of all, I must not fail to thank my sister and friend, our relationship. I'm trying to remember how I met her, but our relationship has really evolved over the years, and it's been such a pleasure, such a great pleasure knowing you. my dear sister, and I do not take this privilege for granted. I also want to thank God because all these things she's been saying is going to be amazing, it's going to be amazing. I said, okay, God will help us today. But I really do believe in my heart that we will all find this valuable. I must also thank everyone who is in the room. I believe more people will join as the time passes, but I want to thank those who have joined so far for investing their time in this session. Now, I believe so strongly that time is perhaps the most valuable resource that a living being has. Now, if you're living, you have your life, you have the ability to breathe. Now, after that, then you look at the concept of time because time can be exchanged for money, for value. You give time to get value in return. Now, you could spend time and not get value in return if you spend time on frivolous things, if you waste time. For example, the social media could be a distraction for many people. Even for me, I try to be very intentional about it. At times, you're on Instagram, you're checking someone's profile. Next thing you see something else, you see a car, you see someone who got married. Next thing you're checking. Before you know it, you may have spent 2 hours just scrolling on social media. And the question you ask yourself is, what value did I get in return? So when you spend your time, when you utilize time, you must understand that you are utilizing a resource that is capable of generating value in return for you. So you must be very deliberate about what you spend your time on. Now, there are times where you will spend time on leisure. For example, I love to watch tennis. So I spend time watching tennis at times. The last Australian Open, the final for the male event will be held tomorrow, but I've not really had time to. Now, you hear the way even the expressions have not really had time to watch because time must be put somewhere. Time is fixed. Time is not something you can increase. A time that you have, everybody has the same amount of time to work with, whether it's a baby, whether it's an adult, whether it's a rich person, or whether someone is not as rich as somebody else. We have the same amount of time to work with. So the question is, what do we do with the time that we have? I said all that to thank you for investing time because you could have been watching Arsenal against Leeds, and I'm an Arsenal fan, by the way, and I checked the first half and the score is 2-0. I hope that at the end of the match, the team will win so that we can go back 7 points. But I've told myself that if the team wins or if the team doesn't win, what I just move on is, man, there are more things to life than football. But sports could be very, very interesting. I've had situations where you have people who can't eat because their team lost. I mean, I struggle with that dynamic some time ago, but I decided that, man, so I hardly watch the live matches because the pressure is just too intense. So I just check the score. Whatever happens, I just move on. I remember I have work the following week. I have things to do, so I just move on. So maybe this is deliverance for some of you who love to watch sports, who are so bound by things. Just understand that there are more important things in your life than that thing that you think is so important that you're embracing, especially if you're not you may be getting a sense of satisfaction because when you watch football and your team wins, you get some sense of satisfaction. But the question is, if the team then doesn't win, does it then put an end to life in itself? So that's not the topic for today, but I hope that's something that adds value to somebody because every minute that we spend here is supposed to add value to you. Now, I want to quickly just talk about myself first because many people, some of the people in this webinar may know me, some may not. So I like to use my own personal experiences when I share because I believe so strongly that my stories have the most powerful things I can say to actually create impact about what God has helped me to achieve over the years. I will still talk about the God factor because it is so critical. Now, I was privileged to have written this book. I hope you can see it. The story of this book is something and as on its own because it's a story, is a product of a relationship that God helped me to nurture. And this book was published by a friend of mine who came, and it was more or less like a birthday gift or published for free. I didn't have to pay a dime for it. But that's another story for another day. Now it's in hard copy, just few copies in hard copy, just my own copy and my wife's copy. So we didn't print the physical copy. Maybe we'll do that later, but it's available for free in e-version. Tumininu can just put the link in the chat box. So those who don't have a copy can just download. It's available for free. It's not for sale anywhere in the world. So you can download for free, but it's just in e-version. Now, so that's one of the things that God has helped me to achieve recently. Now, let me talk about my background. And the reason I want to talk about my background, because embedded in the story of my background is a story of God helping me to go through different cycles of growth in career, in life. Some of those stories are in this book also. I reference some of them in this book, but a lot of them are not. I might even say some things for those who may have reviewed the book, who are in the read engine. In case I say some things are not in the book, don't go and start wondering, where did this come from? Some of the things I may say today may not be in the book, but just understand that it still adds up to everything that we're saying today. Now, I hope I'm still live. I just want to be sure. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, we can hear and see you.
Okay, brilliant. So talk about myself. Now, this part of my story may shock some people as I progress, but just follow with me, okay? So I'm a man. I'm a male man, like I said. I'm a man, and I'm privileged to born to a family of 3 children. I have a sister, I have a brother. My parents, amazing. They brought us, made a lot of sacrifices to really get us into university, which will take me to the next thing I'm going to say. I studied English language in university. But right now, I'm a tax practitioner, so I advise people on personal income taxes. I'm also an expert in immigration matters in terms of expatriates coming to Nigeria end to end. So a company wants to develop a mobility plan. They have people that they want to bring into Nigeria, or they're looking at how they can manage the transitions properly and ensure that they avoid back taxes. You can come and have a conversation with me. Now, you're wondering, how did that happen from English language to all of that? Now, beyond that, I'm also doing other things. Now, I'm also a lead for what we call KPMG Tax Managed Services in West Africa. Now, within that tax managed services, you have, or let me call it KPMG Global Compliance Managed Services. Now, within that service offering, you have a technology offering. We have a technology tool called Digital Gateway that we try to sell to clients. Now, why I'm saying all of that is to let you know that I've moved from studying English language by God's grace to learning about expatriate immigration matters, to pivoting to taxes. And it's an area that I'm still building capacity. I'm reading, I'm learning, and I'm advising people, advising clients, to now pivoting again into trying to sell tax technology. Now, I went for an event just recently in Ife, and I was privileged to be on a panel to share. And someone came to me and said, "How did you manage all these transitions?" She even studied English language, and she's an editor in a particular. She was an editor. I think she may have led that particular organization. And I smiled, and I first said, "I thank God for the grace," and then the fact that God helped me to go through the transitions that I had to go through in my career successfully. Some of them were challenging, I can tell you for free. Some of them needed me to invest time to learn, sacrifice my comfort, to go outside of my comfort zone. And when we're talking about the power of a strong work ethic, building a mindset and habits for lifelong growth and all-round success, which is the title of this book, you have to understand that in life, you will go through transitions. And for you to succeed, you have to be willing to stay the course. And beyond my work too, I'm privileged to pastor the Covenant Nation, one of our branches in Lagos, in the Ikosiketu, Lagos. So by God's grace, the pastor of the Covenant Nation. So you might be wondering, so my pastor is building a career. He was able to even write a book, this by the grace of God. And I'm also a father to 2 amazing children, and a husband to 1 wife. And I'm privileged to be in that role. So I thank God for all the relationships in my life. Now, I'd like to move forward. I hope you're getting something. Please, if you're getting something, just put a message in the chat box to just respond that you're getting value so far. I like to move forward with a story that is such a powerful story for me because uh, it, God used it as a platform to actually communicate certain things for me as a person and also to people. Now in KPMG, Nigeria, we have what we call the KPMG Games that we hold it, we used to hold it every 2 years thereabout. But I think it was about 4 years ago we had one, and I was the vice captain of my team in that particular edition. I was the vice captain. My team was called Team Kleinbelt. Now you can go on Instagram and just search for Team Kleinbelt. You will see image. You will see me. You will see my picture, so you can verify. You can verify what I'm saying. But my team was called Team Kleinbelt. An underdog because I'd never won. Sorry, I'd never won. When we ever got second. The last one we had before the one that I'm referring to, we were last. And so the reputation about that team was that the team was a team of people who didn't win at the games. Now, 4 years ago, or 4 years, between 4 or 5 years ago, I was appointed as the vice captain of that particular team. And then before you knew it, we started encouraging people. We started trying to change the mindset. Now we'll talk about mindset very soon. We started encouraging our team members. There was really no basis to build on in the sense of past success. And I'm saying this so that you understand that even if you had failed in the past, you can start from where you are right now to say, okay, I'm going to make a difference. There's something is going to change. Something is going to give. I'm going to excel by the grace of God. I'm going to push. I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to do greater things than I had done. Even if you don't have a reference, even if you don't have something, we always have something. But even if you think you don't have, now, if you think you don't have, the fact that you're alive is something to hold on to. If you can hold on to family, it means that you still have value to offer. The fact that you're alive in this world means that you still have value to offer. I say it again. The fact that you are alive means you still have value to offer. Think about that. And so what happened, and then we started encouraging our team members, trying to get people going. It was a struggle. I worked with another lady who was our captain. It was a vice captain. I was another vice captain. She was vice captain, and then we had a captain. And then we started encouraging team members. Now, story short, we won that particular event. We won it, I think, by about 6 points. It was a bit close, too close for comfort. That was about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Now, that's not the end of the story of the KPMG Games. Now, fast forward last year, and then the announcement was made that the games will be held. I said, okay, no problem. We celebrated that win. Everybody was excited. The announcement was made that the games will be held. And in my mind, I was vice captain. I don't think I would really be involved in leadership. I didn't think I would be involved in leadership, and I just relaxed. And then someone said the list had been released of the various teams. Okay, no problem. So one day I just said, let me even check the list to see where I was placed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how I found out that I'd been made the captain of the team that particular year. That was last year. When I first saw that's my name at the top as captain, I smiled. I said, okay, God, you're the one who is going to help me here. Because I knew how demanding, and I still know how demanding it is to lead a team of very passionate. And if there's anything about we in KPMG, I've been in KPMG by God's grace for more than 16 years now. I've grown to the level of a director over the years by the grace of God. And people are very competitive, the intense competition. People are very passionate about winning. And I looked at it and said, how are we going to do this? I had a lot of work to juggle, a lot of things. My role was evolving, and I had many things to manage at work. And I said, okay, we're going to get this done. Now, my faith is very important to me. So in case you heard me talk about it a lot, my faith, my belief, my trust in God is very important to me, but I don't just set on that. I don't. Just say in the place of prayer and say God is there, being alone. So you must have would be inspired by God for you to execute where I'm coming from. I believe so much that the faith will only lead to frustration. The partner leads, and then we start preparing, we start getting good. Now, because we had won the last time, we were an easy target for all the other teams. Where there's no way these guys are going to win again. They came from almost nowhere and they beat everybody else and they won by about 6 or 7 points. And so they were an easy target. I can't go into all the details of the competition that we had to endure in the office. The people were saying, no, we have to dethrone these guys. But we kept at it. I just kept encouraging my team. You have to do the work. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay focused. You have to stay focused on the ball. We are going to retain the stuff. So we started the work. Now, fast forward the first day of the games, ladies and gentlemen. To make matters more interesting, we did a parade in building, even got a beer, all these big beers that somebody get into and they inflated it. We had a band sang from first to 13th floor, making a lot of noise, saying we're going to be the winners, we're going to win. And then, ladies and gentlemen, after the first day, we were last on the medals table. We were last on the medals table. I'm saying this to let you know that in the journey of career, in the journey of growth, in the journey of success, all-around success, you will face setbacks. It is guaranteed. If you think that setbacks will not come, then you are living in a false paradise, like they say. We were last. But as I sat back, I go home that day, many of my team members were dejected, and I sat in my living room. I started thinking about it. I decided I was going to keep my mindset in the right place, a positive mindset. That regardless of what happens, I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to lose sight on the ball. I'm going to keep my eyes on the ball, and we're going to trust God to help us push through. Now, you hear me say trust God, but I'm sure you understand that I'm not just saying that because I want to say that. There are actionable steps that you must carry out to get the result. Now, and then I put out a message. I sent a message to the team, encouraging them, letting them know that this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. We're gonna have like 4 events, 4 days, 4 separate days, several events. Can't remember the total number of events, but at least not less than 20 to 30 different events. So if after 3, 4, or 5 events, I think it was more than 30 events, quite a lot of events, and people were dejected. I said, no, don't give up. So we stayed the course. We kept at it, and then encouraged the team. By the time we went for the day 2, we won so many gold medals. We had got into, I think, the 2nd place. I think we moved to 2nd place by the time we got to day 2. Yeah, I think we were 2nd place. Anyway, long story short, so that I hope you are not bored by this story, but it's something that excites me. By the time the games were done, we finished with a points tally that was at least 40 points in between us and the 2nd place team. I believe I'm not exaggerating. I'm going to pull up the final or I'm going to show you. Let me see. Before we finish, maybe during the Q&A, I'm going to show you the medals table so you understand the significance of this story that I just said. I said that story so that you understand. And it's so for somebody who may be going through a particular period in their life and as long as you're alive, there is hope that you can become better. As long as you're alive, there's hope. Yes, I just pulled up the table now. Now we finished We finished with 112 points. We finished 112 points. And then the team that came after us, let me even see. Okay. Oh, it wasn't up to 40, but we finished with 112 points. The second place team had 84 points. There were two teams that had the same number of points, 84 points. And then the team after had 43 points. Now, what made it even more amazing is that I think out of 16, because this is being recorded now, I need to be careful what I say. But out of, I think, 16 trophies, we collected 12 of the 16 trophies. I'm saying this not to say that, or just to gloat. No, I'm saying this to let you know that you can overcome a challenge, because this issue of work ethic, strong work ethic, is the starting point is really a mindset. Because what makes people give up at the place of work, makes people give up is the mindset that nothing can change. Is that they have tried everything and it's not working. Is that they have tried everything and no progress is being made or is being seen. But the question is, what exactly are they doing? What is the state of their mind? Even the things that they think they have tried, how did they go about it? And I'm going to go, now that I've said the story, let me now go into specific things which I believe will help you or will help all of us. Now, I'm talking about this mindset thing. Your mindset, if you split the word mindset, mind and set, you can look at it from the standpoint of how you have set your mind. Where have you set your mind? What thoughts come to your mind when you think about yourself? If you do not think that you have value to offer, if you look down on yourself, if you think that there's nothing good that can come out of your life, I tell you for free, that is exactly what's going to happen. Your mindset is going to shape the standards that you set for yourself. Your mindset is going to determine the outcomes of your life. If you believe that your work matters, you will show up to work differently. The word of work is filled with many people who go to work as an obligation. And we must speak the message out there. We must make it loud that your work should not be seen as an obligation. Anything that you find to do, whatever your hand finds to do at every point in time, is an opportunity for you to add value. Is an opportunity for you to create impact. Is an opportunity for you to change the status quo that may not be working. Every opportunity that you have to do something, work, you can look at work as any task, any responsibility, any obligation that you undertake, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. And I'm saying this so that people understand that when you have the opportunity to do something that doesn't look glamorous, don't look at it and say, what is this among so many? Embrace that opportunity. If you're a receptionist, ask yourself, how can I do this work as a receptionist that it will draw value to this organization, that you become the reason that people go to that organization. You know that a receptionist can become the reason the organization is growing, just like the way the receptionist responds to people that come in. And people look not from not that they want to date the receptionist, not that they have an ulterior motive, no, but because of the experience that people have when they engage with that person. It shapes their response. The question I ask you today is, what experience do people live with after engaging with you? How do people feel? And the issue is, you don't even have to say anything for people to have an experience of you. If somebody walks up to you and says hello to you, and you keep your mouth quiet, they will leave you with an experience about you, which is why, regardless of what you may be going through, and I encourage people, I even appeal, regardless of what you may be going through, be intentional to ensure that that thing doesn't impact how you respond to people, because you not really know who is going to open the next door that you want to walk through. And the only experience they will have of you may be that negative experience that may be coming out of a season of pain in your life. And that may not really be who you are in that sense of it, quote and unquote. You may not naturally be a snobby person. You may not naturally be somebody who doesn't greet people. But something may have happened. You may be driving to the office that day and somebody eats your vehicle, or somebody said something to you to upset your spouse. You had an disagreement with your spouse, and then you got to the office and you carried that into the mode of work, and it impacts how you respond to everybody. And the people that you engage with, some of them, it may be the only opportunity that you will ever have to create an impression in the presence. And some of those people may end up being decision makers when it comes to a point where decisions have to be made about who to promote, who to promote. So your mindset is so important. I know I'm jumping a bit ahead of myself, but I hope you're getting value about it. So your mindset, how you think about yourself, how you think about opportunities that are handed to you. I remember when we were in university, and some people would say, you say, they give me a tip. That lecturer is very, 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 very wicked. But that even to you, and you look at what is handed to you, and it doesn't look like the best job. They put you in a role that's it's not so attractive. You look at that role and ask yourself, what can I do with this role that to make it the most attractive role in the organization? How can I add value? Now, what you can also think about, you may still be doing, hello?
I'll collect the phone.
Apologies, I've muted the person.
Volunteer to do stuff. The opportunities for you to volunteer to join a committee. The opportunities for you to volunteer to take on a challenging task that is not within your comfort zone. It takes me to the next thing. Responsibility. Its reward. I believe it's one of the lessons in my books, owning outcomes. There are many attacks from a silo mentality. Let me just grow in your career for you to really excel. So you have done your own part and you're thinking, you are checking the other people that need to do. And I'm not saying this that you need to poke nose and you're micro other people that need to do their work. No, I just want to be sure that we're on track. Is there anything that you need for us to be able to get it over the line? So you are saying it not because you want to take over their work, but because you know that without the big picture, where you
Hello, Pastor Bukunmi. We are losing you intermittently. Your network. Okay, I'm sure he's going to be joining us back.
Hello, am I still there?
Yes, now you are back. We lost you briefly.
Oh my God. And I was just talking. Okay, I mean the light to my camera will show me if I go off. What was the last thing you heard?
You were saying that it's not about micromanaging or trying to take over people's job.
Oh, okay, brilliant. Wow, I've said many things after that, but okay, let me just continue. So I was trying to give you an illustration of the big picture, the concept of big picture. When you think big picture, and the illustration that came to my heart was the illustration of this children's puzzle. So how many of us remember this children's puzzle where you have to move parts to actually get a full picture? To me, I hope you remember it. I hope somebody remembers it. Where you have to move parts. Okay, the full I'll just keep going and pray that this network will hold true. So, or maybe I put off my camera. Let me put off my camera. I hope, God bless you. A jigsaw puzzle. A jigsaw puzzle. Okay, focus on the left side. Another team focus on the right side. Right top right side. Another team focus on the top on the lower left side. Another team focus on the lower right side. Now, imagine if all the other teams. Okay, you have stopped my video. Okay, that's fine. All the other teams then do their own part and say, okay, we've done our own part. The last team that is still struggling to do its own part can go figure. Because that's oftentimes how we relate, how we act in the work environment. But even with a jigsaw puzzle, and there's a lesson to learn from a jigsaw puzzle. If you have played a jigsaw puzzle before, you will find out that oftentimes to get the full picture to show, you may have to move within the various parts. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying, please just respond in chat box. You may have to put a thumbs up. You may have to move a part that maybe was stuck in one particular hand and move it around and rearrange again before the real picture now comes up. And that shows you that when you're working in a team or whatever it is that you do, you think big picture. Just thinking with a silo mentality, because if you think in a silo mentality, you will stay in a silo. And when you stay in a silo, you cannot be assigned to actually supervise the big picture. It is those who show big picture mindset that can be assigned responsibility to say, okay, now you're not thinking about yourself alone. You're thinking about the organization. You're thinking about how we can all work together to achieve success. And that's how people grow. That's how people are promoted. Promotion is not rocket science. Promotion is looking at people and saying, who can help us? Who has the ability to coordinate resources effectively to actually get us to where we desire to be? Now, let me move quickly because I think I have just about 20 minutes left. So responsibility precedes reward. Many people want reward, but you only get reward in return for the value that you give. Reward is a response to value. Except to go and steal money. And when you steal, in fact, in a way, those who steal, they put pressure. It's just that it's illegal pressure, and it puts them under pressure too. But when you do the right thing, in the real context of it, reward is a response to value. Now, the question is reward. Some people say, the reward I get, my salary is not commensurate to the effort I'm putting in. Is what value is your effort contributing to the organization? And you have to detach emotions from it. It's not about hard labor. No. If you want to command greater reward, increase your value stock. Increase your sense of value. If you increase your sense of value, and the only way you can increase your sense of value is by embracing challenges that will help you to disrupt yourself and to be able to take on more. Human beings don't like to be disrupted naturally. We like to just stay in our comfort zone, especially if we are not in crisis mode. But the truth is that life is moving. You cannot be in one point. You cannot stay in the same position. It's either you are depreciating or you are appreciating. Now, let me quickly share a story. Talks about this value. How did I start getting into all these other things? And in fact, recently I was a moderator at the panel session. We had a KPMG Digital Summit late last year. You can check it online. A digital summit. Now, think of it. Somebody who read English language and then started doing tax. And next thing, the guy is moderating a session on technology at a digital summit. How did that happen? Now, how did this particular one happen? Because naturally, technology is not my area of expertise. I'm learning. I'm still learning. Or it wasn't. Let me just put it like that. It wasn't. And so there was an opportunity to moderate the panel session. And in fact, it was an open opportunity. And it was like, oh, someone volunteer. Who is volunteer? A request was sent out. And I looked at that mail. Ladies and gentlemen, I could have looked at that mail and just said, Please, I have a lot on my plate too. But I looked at that mail and said, at this program, there'll be a lot of senior executives. At this program, it's going to be an opportunity for me to create impact. Now, beyond that, which is even the most paramount, I can learn new things. So I embraced the opportunity to moderate a panel session at the Digital Summit, and I had to do the work of researching the topic. It was on artificial intelligence. Researching the topic, creating content that I had to read and understand in less than a week, ladies and gentlemen. I had to go and understand what is artificial intelligence beyond ChatGPT, because you have to have a conversation with senior people who are AI experts, on a panel session that was being broadcast all over the place. It's on YouTube. And I have to talk intelligently like somebody who's knowledgeable in that area. And I was still learning. But what did I do? I said, God, I'm going to embrace this, and you're going to help me. So I moderated a panel session. The feedback was amazing. Now, another story I would like to share, because within our tax practice in KPMG in Africa. And then I was assigned, next thing I saw that I'd been assigned to be the lead for a particular area, in addition to the work that I currently do. And next thing, we went training for in South Africa, and at the training, I would just say my name. At some point, in fact, one of my senior colleagues looked at me and smiled. I smiled too. I said, "We will do this thing." And I embraced the opportunity by God's grace to say it's going to position me. Now, you know what that's done for me is that beyond KPMG Nigeria, where I've done so much work over the years, I have networks within the Africa region now. So if the decisions are going to be made around, okay, who do we even know? Who are the people that have created some level of impact? Because of the pressure that I'm going through, I'm still going through the pressure, I can tell you for free. But I'm creating impressions. I'm building capacity. I'm learning new things. That's work ethic. Being open to learning new things. Being open to making mistakes. Have I made mistakes? Yes, but mistakes are only a pointer to the fact that you can improve. If you're somebody that you think you won't make mistakes, it means you're not trying new things. Because if you try new things and the process of learning, you will make some mistakes. Now, you have to understand how to now communicate, because as you try new things, you communicate, you check, so that you won't have led the people into the Red Sea before they find out that, hey, voila has happened. So mistakes are only opportunities for you to find out areas you can improve on. So when things don't work out, don't beat yourself up and say, hey, it is the end of the world. In my role right now in the office, there are times that things don't just work out. We do things and then somebody makes a mistake, and then we have to look at how we're going to resolve it. Or there's a major challenge and we fix that challenge for the client. We won't say our clients, hey, sorry, hey, we don't know what to do. Hey, everybody go home and sleep. No. Please, can you remove the waiting room option? Maybe it will help people come in more easily. Admin, you can remove the waiting room, because I see people waiting in the waiting room. But let me just move quickly. So now the next thing I want to say in this because they're not exactly aligned, those who have read the book are not following the book chapter by chapter. I'm just sharing ideas and sharing insights, and I hope it helps. Is that feedback is the tool for progress. Feedback is the tool for growth. Feedback is a critical tool for success in career. If people are not telling you, giving you feedback, they're probably just watching you fail. They want you to fail. If you don't get feedback, and feedback is not usually very comfortable to receive. Most people don't like to hear about things that they are not doing well. But for you to grow, to achieve success, and I got some strong feedback last year. I thought I was doing well in certain areas. Somebody called me, a senior person called me, said, this one, if you want to do this, what exactly are you doing? What are you doing here? Go and change it, go and adjust this. the person delivered the feedback to me, and feedback doesn't have to be delivered in a way that sounds nice to you. At times, it may not even sound good. They could have said it better. Separate how they said it from what they said, and please take out the meat from the bones. And if you are true to yourself, you will know that this thing I could have done it better. If you are somebody that doesn't currently get feedback at work, please go and ask for feedback. Because it probably means that they think you're not going to take it well. And people who don't get feedback, they will be blindsided. It's like when you're driving, there's something called a blind spot. Everybody has a blind spot. When you're driving, you have blind spots where you don't see. If you drive often, you will understand that at times maybe you want to make a turn. Suddenly you just see a vehicle, or you see a vehicle in view, because that is a blind spot. Everybody has blind spots, and your blind spots show areas of inadequacies, areas that you can continue to work on. And we will all continue to have areas that we can continue to improve on, which is why people work in teams. So that when somebody is struggling in a particular area, one other person who is strong in that area can fill in the gap, and the team's weaknesses are not seen. The team's successes are seen. But behind the scenes, we know that this area we are struggling, but people don't go and carry and say, oh, this is our weakness. No, that is the concept of teamwork. Teamwork. And that's something you must always remember too. A strong work ethic. You cannot grow your career, you cannot achieve success at work without other people. You cannot achieve success at work without other people. There's no one man made person. At times, it's motivational speakers. I know that their intentions may be good, but one needs to be very careful when you say self-made millionaire. There's no self-made millionaire anywhere. Everybody is a product of opportunities that were given to them. There's no self-made millionaire anywhere. Everybody is a product of the opportunities that were given to them. Some opportunities were handed to some people on a plate. Some opportunities you had to struggle to get them. But one way or the other, you got opportunities from people who decided to give it to you. So don't ever wake up and think for one that you are self-made. Because if you think you are self-made, all that needs to happen is for somebody to pull the plug, and you find yourself on the floor. So you need people to succeed. And let me use this. I've used it in one of my webinars many years ago. I'll say a statement twice, but it means two different things. You need people to succeed. That means you need people for you to succeed. You need people to succeed. That means you need people to succeed for you to succeed. Because if people under you are not succeeding, maybe people either under quote unquote, people who report to you, or people you report to are not succeeding, there's no way you will succeed. If you are the only star, they will bring you down. So you need to make sure that you are working to make other people to succeed. I just remembered some things that some people used to do when we're in university. Some people will get materials, maybe past questions or something, and they will hide it. They will hide it and say, no, nobody else should see it. Oh, God, calm down. Bring the thing out. Let all copy and read and succeed. If you are the only star, your star will soon go down. If you are the only star, the star will soon go down. The way that real illumination can be created in an organization is that you are committed to replicating yourself. And if you are a star, you must be intentional in replicating yourself, grooming other people. Because if you are the only star, the work will soon put you down. It's like when you are pulling, because every responsibility that is assigned to you puts a pull on you, puts pressure on you. So imagine, just think about it this way. If you are the only one who is a star in the organization, everything goes through you. Very soon, by God's grace, nobody will die. But very soon, that person will die because the pressure will be so intense that it will push them down. So you must be committed to the growth of other people. You must be committed to intentionally investing in other people growing. Everything cannot revolve around you. Let me move very quickly to the concept of integrity. This issue of integrity is something that we must continue to talk about. And integrity is alignment. Your words, what you say, what you do, they have to align. At times, in fact, people and this integrity thing is as simple as you're going for a meeting. You are going for a meeting. you are going for a meeting on the mainland, maybe in Yaba, you are in VI. The meeting is going to start by 5 o'clock. You are in VI at 4:45. There is no way that you are using a helicopter that maybe 2 o'clock, and the time is 2 o'clock, that you can move from Victoria Island in 15 minutes to Yaba. And you are going to be late. So there's no way. So at that time that you know that you're going to be late, what should happen is pick up the phone and tell the client, we are running late for, or whoever it is, I'm running late for this meeting. Sorry, we may get in late after 5. But what happens is that most people keep quiet. They don't say anything. Because naturally, people don't like having difficult conversations that will make them feel uncomfortable. Everybody wants to feel nice, feel good. No. And so it's important to understand that when things are not working, you own up to it. Because if you don't own up to it, your word cannot be your bond. And this concept of integrity is so critical for growth. How many of you know people or have people that do stuff for you? Maybe, I don't want to mention a profession, but some of you have people that do stuff for you that when they say they will bring it, until you see them, and you see them in flesh and blood like this, you cannot believe that they mean what they say. They say, we're almost done. Maybe somebody, I'm tempted to say this, but no harm, no offense to anybody who does fashion designing. But there are times that people who do fashion designing, or it could be anybody. I'm just using that as an example. Even people in professional services. Let me even use professional services. You have an audited account, and the client has said, we need it by this particular day. And say, yes, we're going to deliver. We're going to deliver. We're going to deliver. We're going to deliver. The day before that day, you can see clearly that, hey, all the things that we are flagging here, this skin cannot be ready. What should you do? Pick up your phone. Tell the client, this thing is not working. You know, an experience that really brought it home for me recently. We did something for a client, and the client liked the deliverable, but we missed the deadline by 1 day. And some people say, just 1 day, why is everybody upset? The problem is when any short that happens in your deliverable is a dent in your reputation. And which takes me to the concept of brand. I have just 15 minutes left. Anytime you fail to deliver on your promise, you are cutting. It's like you are cutting. You are putting a dent. You are putting a dent in your brand, because everybody is a brand. Takes me to the next thing I was going to say. You are a brand. You create impressions everywhere you go. And there's something called, I know it may not really be in the brand world, but I defined something. I came up with an idea called brand promise. And brand promise is what people expect when they think about you, what people expect when you communicate with them. And so if you fail to keep that promise, it puts a dent in your reputation. And when there's a dent in your reputation, it impedes the ability of people to recommend you for certain roles. It impedes the ability of people to recommend you for certain opportunities. Because when people recommend people, they are putting their own reputation on the line. Something that people don't remember. When people recommend people, they are putting their own reputation on the line. For example, Tumininu has put me on the stage of Read Engine. Read Engine stage platform it's an international platform. She has had all sorts of people come over the years to speak. She has had very senior people. Please don't look down on what she's doing. And she didn't pay me for this, but she's doing an amazing job. And the caliber of people who have had the opportunity to speak on the Read Engine stage are not people that you just throw in the trash. So for her to me, she's taking her reputation. Because if I say something and then people are wondering what exactly is this person saying, if you invite people for another Read Engine platform event next time, people will remember what happened at the last event. And so when you fail to deliver, you are putting a comma, you are putting a handbrake. It's like when you're trying to drive a car. When you're trying to drive a car and the handbrake is still on, you will be hearing alarm bells. Same thing. When you fail to deliver, when people want to recommend people, or when somebody fails to deliver, and when people want to recommend them, and their handbrake, their alarm bells, red flags are on in their head that, hey, this guy is going to sabotage us. This guy is going to create problems for us. They will say, okay, let me just be dealing with him on a personal front. Many of you have people that you give business to, maybe because you've known them for years. You are friends. Maybe we shall get something. He needs to get something to eat, something to hold body. But you will never give their name to somebody else. If someone says, I'm looking for somebody that does this, so you will just keep quiet. The person name might even come to your mind. I don't want Wala. Because if you give their name, and this thing is so important, this issue of reputation and the impressions that you leave is so important. Because when you give somebody's name out, now you have given, you think it should end there. Should be the person's issues. If there's any issue, that person that you refer the person to will come back to you and accuse you and start disturbing you. And that thing has happened to me before. I referred somebody and the guy didn't deliver. And they just kept calling. I said, oh my God, you just kept calling me. The guy didn't deliver. The guy's not deliver. And they kept me, your guy. And so please, it's so important. If it's not working, please say it. Will there be times where we will miss? We may, it's just okay. You may drop the ball because you are human. There may be times where you may have done everything, you just forget, or something just doesn't work. But be willing to say, I missed it. I did not do well. I am sorry. Because that's another thing when people are not willing to own up. This whole issue of work ethic is being able to understand that things may not always work right, but you must embrace failure as an opportunity for you to learn. Let me move quickly because my time is almost up. In the journey of my own career and life, so I can close, I've come to understand the place of faith. The God factor is very important too in developing a work ethic. And you must understand that your work has meaning in your life. And faith helps people to develop this. Your work has meaning. You are a steward of work. You are a steward. That work, some people are looking for it. Don't take it for granted. Yeah, you might say, some people are in oil and gas companies, they're earning millions. Okay, no problem. Some of them, if they exchange what the pressures that they face and say, come and collect just 1% of it, you will say, let me just stay where I am. So, but embrace what you have. Have a sense of gratitude. Wake up with a sense of gratitude. Even if what you have is not the quote unquote the ideal thing, be joyful about it. Because it is when you do it with joy that you will start receiving ideas. New ideas will start coming. People will see you and say, with the small money we pay this guy. And I tell you for free, many roles that people are recruiting people for now, they would rather recruit somebody with a right mindset who is teachable than somebody who is very sound but does not have a right mindset. Is always complaining. Is always saying the gas. They don't like us. They have put a policy. They don't want to frustrate us. They want to kill us. My camera is okay. My camera is still. Oh, I'm still here because they put up my camera. My camera is not blinking. Stop complaining. Stop. Don't join the bandwagon, the pity party. So we're complaining. They want to. Attitude. Anybody with right attitude can be taught. I tell you for free. At least I'm a person. My story is an example. I had to learn technology, had to learn tax, had to learn aspirations from reading English language. I did not get all of that knowledge from university. If people have the right attitude, people will rather employ someone with the right attitude and say, don't worry, we will train the guy. Don't worry. I'm saying, but he doesn't even have more experience. We will train him because he has the right mindset. Your mindset to what you have is key. Embrace it and be grateful for what you have. And then let your work become a tool. See it as a tool for you to add value to lives. See it as a tool that is solving problems. When the way I see my work, I'm solving problems from clients. I tell people I saw one of the things when I go to the office, I know that no 2 days are the same, but I know at times one single mail might change the course of my day. But I embrace it. And I said, at times, even if a client that's the one that caused the problem, I tell my team members at times some of them come to me and say, the client didn't listen. Okay, we just wait. Don't worry. At this point, the client just wants a solution. So let's see how we can help them. And in those cases, those instances, there are instances where you can even get value and say, yes, you have gone to do things. We will bill you for it now. And when you look at it from that standpoint, you're looking at unhurting value from a situation that is a conflicting situation. You can get value from it. And then I want you to say that when you love what you do, it becomes a platform for you to bless life. To bless lives. Finally, my final comment and caveat. I know I may not have covered everything. It's difficult to cover everything in 1 hour. There's so many lessons in that book. I don't think I even touched half of it. I think I shared other things from learnings that I've had over the years. In understanding growth, in the journey of career and journey of growth, you have to understand that things don't just happen. Things don't just happen. Time doesn't change things. At times people will say, with time, things will change. No, time doesn't change things. What changes things is intentional action. Now, what change? If you're not doing anything for something to change, it probably means somebody else is doing something. So it may not be you, and change is happening. But if you're not the one changing things, very soon you will no longer be relevant. So if you're not the one moving things, you're not the one creating the change, you're not the one embracing change, you're not the one, creating the value that is seen in an organization, very soon there are people that even your organization is going to say, we want to do redundancy. They cannot sack them because the value they are bringing is too significant for the survival of the organization. They may be struggling, the organization may be struggling, but these people are the people that are the key to the bouncing back of the organization. And those are people they will now reassign. Maybe a particular unit did something that made the organization suffer business loss. And they're now saying, who are the people we need to assign? Who have demonstrated value in other places, in another place? And then they can just put them into an unknown territory. And they know that it's a sink or swim situation. And those people will not complain and say, why are you pushing me? I'm not the one that caused the problem now. Is it not this person that caused the problem? And those ones will say, okay, this is the problem. Okay, give us time. We're going to look at it. And they will come back with actionable solutions. They will go and pay the price. They will go to the office on weekends. I'm saying this, I'm not saying people will rest, but I'm saying that if you go to work with the mindset of I resume by 8, and many people don't even resume by 8 nowadays. They say traffic, they get in the office by 9, and then they want to go for lunch by 12. And they will do full 1 hour of lunch. And they will come back sauntering in. They're still trying to settle. Maybe they're still nibbling on the snack, going to take tea. By 5 o'clock, they're carrying their bag. They want to go and join a vehicle. Don't let me mention the name of a car company, but they want to quickly go and join a bus so that they won't miss their bus. And then they come again the following day. They are not adding value like that. I'm not saying you shouldn't close it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have other things to do. But I'm saying that there will be seasons. There will be opportunities for you to stretch yourself, where you will say, rather than stay in the comfort zone and stay with the general populace, I want to distinguish myself by helping to get this organization on the right track. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. And I hope that you have found value in everything that I said. I will just say in summary that let's keep growing. We are all on the journey of growth. Nobody has achieved everything. I am still learning every single day. I'm still learning. I still read. I try to read books, listen to people. My team members, they come to me. I say, okay, what's the issue? They tell me, this is what they think we should do. I listen to them. I didn't really touch on that very, very well. But let me just say it in passing quickly. As in the journey of growing in life and career, you must be somebody that listens. If your only voice you hear is yourself, you will soon run out of ideas because you don't know everything. If the only voice you hear is your voice, you will soon run out of ideas because your idea bank is limited by what you have absorbed in. And the more you keep absorbing, the more ideas you have to be able to deliver value and become somebody who can command value in return. Let me not add anything else. I think I have said everything and I'm right on time. I will hand over now to award winner.
Wow, this has been super amazing. If you've been getting value back to back, please let me see your favorite emojis. And we want to say a very, very big thank you to everybody that turned up. And I can see one of my sisters, Yewande, shout out. It was such a great pleasure seeing you jump in. Now we're about to move to the conversation part. Sorry, we had to turn off Pastor Bukunmi's video because it was affecting his presentation. We played a soundtrack at the beginning. I'm going to play it just for 3 minutes, then we'll talk. So, yeah. I want you to sink in the lyrics of this song because I want this to be your reality after this. This is what this is all about. That at the end of this webinar, people will take knowledge of you that you've been listening to. Sorry, I'm on 2 devices. I'm logging out of one because the other one is distracting me. People will take knowledge of you that you've read the power of strong work ethics and they can see it in you. And the evidence is that your name is on the wall of fame. I mean, I find the lyrics of those words very powerful. I tell people that my brand is too strong for people to pay me for mediocrity. It's impossible. So it's not about the pay. The pay is good, it's motivating, but I'm doing it for my pride. It's for myself. It's for the next generation. So that a generation yet unborn will be proud that they have a mother, they have a grandmother. As I said at the beginning of this session, and I decided, or let me say I decided to wear my flowers with full chest to hopefully motivate somebody. So you can see in my background, top 100 career women in Nigeria. There are lots of career women in Nigeria. Being recognized at the top 100, it took some effort. The year after that, I was recognized as one of the top 50 women in management in Africa. Because I told myself that Nigeria, people can say it's local. Let's go outside. And we are still getting more flowers. Not just for the pride, but to be able to convince yourself that you are doing something right. It's about legacy. I'm opening up the floor now, and I will first start with gisting with Pastor Bukunmi. I love to gist. We have about 30 minutes to do this. Please, I want you to ask the very pressing questions in the chat room. I'm on the lookout for it while I ask him questions. Now, Pastor Bukunmi, you've spoken a lot about branding, about doing the right things, and I'm sure a lot of people are really challenged by today. So the question I want to ask you is this. For people that have started on the wrong note, how do they correct themselves? You already have, they know you as the bad boy. How do you correct yourself?
Okay, thank you so much. I hope everybody can still hear me, and thank you everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Because at times from experience when webinars stop like that, people start jumping into other things. So thanks to those who are still here so we can interact. Now, the way I will respond to this is simple. Like I said, building a brand is like putting blocks. You're like when you're building a house, and it's interesting that when we say building a brand, we use the word build because it's like building, it's like putting together a building. So if the block, the block that you have built in the minds of people are such that the impressions they have of you are very bad, you can start creating a new house. So it's like you are living in a house. So you have built a house, and that's where you live. You need to evict yourself from that house. And this image is very powerful. So you evict yourself from that house, you will expose yourself to the weather, wind, rain, because the process of building another house will mean that you will be uncomfortable. I will be lying if I tell you that it's easy. Maybe just create a new impression. Just think of this image. So you are built, you're living in a house. When people see the house, they say that's the guy. You tell them your address has changed now. And you start creating new impressions. You start laying block after block. So at times there will be a pushback first. When you start creating, I say, no, it can't be that guy. You do it again. It may mean that you will have to do double the work because it's more difficult to build. It's easier to break something down. It's more difficult to rebuild something. So you now start creating impression. You now start asking yourself the people that you need to create the right impression to. How can you solve problems for them that they will become your advocate? Now, this is a very strategic move because you may not be able to correct the impression in the minds of every single person, but you need to be able to identify who are the strategic people to you at that phase. Those people will now be the people talking about you, and then going into meeting rooms saying, no, that guy is no, maybe he used to be like that. It's no longer like that. Well, really? Trying to convince me now say, and God help you that you decide rightly when this opportunity comes. That one they now say, okay, yeah, let me go and work with him now. See, I'll tell you, I'll come back. You see, the guy is not a very useful guy. I don't like using these words, but let me just say the way some people will say. They say he's a very useless guy. I say, no, he's not. That guy has a lot of value. Say, okay, yeah, let me see now. Okay, I'll work with him. Send him to me. Let me give him some projects to work on. That is a test. God help you. When you now see that test is like when you are in the open. Like I said, you are exposed. You embrace it. This is an opportunity for you to rebuild your house. Immediately you do that and you deliver value, the person changes. The person becomes, the way we say, born again, in the body of Christ. The person becomes they say this guy has become reborn, and you change the mindset. And those people will now be the people catalyzing your growth. It's not the same process like somebody, who may not have had a negative path. And if you have not, be grateful. Don't take it for granted. If you have not gone and done things that, your own, you take the grace of God. But if you are in that position, know that you can start making the change from today by being intentional, but you will have to be exposed. You will get negative feedback. People will look at you and say, oh God, calm down, go and sit down somewhere. Embrace it, smile, take it with joy, because there's something that God wants to do through you. I hope that helps.
Amazing. Thank you so much. In 1 minute, I'll just share a bit of an experience. I was working with a team, and as you said, feedback is very good. And I got this basketball feedback of what a particular team thought of me, and I'm like, me? You know the way you feel so like righteous with yourself. Is this me? And I practice those things that you were saying, and it's a work in progress. First thing is to be very vulnerable. No defense. So I had a very difficult conversation of, you know what, you are right. And I noticed that they were like very shocked because people want to go on the defensive. I said, no. It's a feedback. I'm grateful. You are right. I'll take every single thing you've said. I will go and work on it. And I will come back. And, and I'm laughing because it's shocking how people change their mind fast. And I will come back, I'll come and show you that, okay, I have done this thing. Now, what do you feel? Pastor, sir, in less than 2 months, the review went over the roof. You are the best person ever. You are the that. I'm like, this ain't me. That 2 months ago, I was at the bottom of the ladder. So yes, please, it works. Your experience might not be as fast as mine. I've had quite a bit of training on this. But what I will equally say is get a career coach. Have somebody you can talk to. Have somebody you can be vulnerable with your challenges. We all do have our challenges, and we're as good as the people that are directing us. Please, I'm still waiting for our questions in the chat room. I've seen people say this is a good question. No. Pastor Bukunmi, my next question, as we say, when you have those bosses that you believe that this person was just sent to come and try me, how do you display strong work ethics with an unreasonable boss? Thank you.
Okay, so the question is who defined the boss as unreasonable? Now, what I've seen, and by God's grace, I've been in this journey for almost 20 years. So I believe that I've seen things and I could share from that experience. I'm not, without being proud about it, is that every individual wants to succeed. I mean, naturally, every individual has an aspirational goal. What makes people lose a sense of aspiration is when they've lost hope that things can get better. What will make people actually go and themselves? What I've tried to reason it. I've spent some time meditating on it. When people lose hope for the future, that is when they get into a place of suicide. When they lose hope for the future, there may be other things surrounding it. So back to the real point. That so-called unreasonable boss is in the organization. The truth is they have their own personal desires for success. So the question is, why is it that there are instances when that so-called bad boss, they still have quote and unquote favorites? Why? Because even though the boss may be bad, if they find somebody that is without sucking up, and it's not about who looks out for them intentionally, they may be throwing a tantrum, but the person looks out for them and they know that this person is actually contributing to make them look good. They will love you. They will go out of their way to do things for you. So the question is, my recommendation is find out what the problem, what will make the life of that boss easier. Find it. And I know to me, you heard me say this many years ago, and I think it's one of the things that brought us closer. Don't be part of the people that will be speaking ill about your boss. If somebody is your boss, that person is a potential tool for favor in the hands of God. That person is a potential tool for your lifting. Don't be the one that will be going around saying bad things. If you speak ill about somebody, you cannot expect positive things to come out of a place that you have spoken ill about. You will lose the favor. And it's a test. If you're somebody that you're getting benefits from somebody, and then suddenly that person is putting you under a bit of pressure, just embrace it. It's a test. But if it is, let me now put the balance. If it is such that it is a toxic situation where it is affecting your mental state, because there may be extremes. Maybe you've done that, you have to have tried things before saying, no, somebody is reasonable. But if it's such that the organizational culture is a toxic organization, where from the top, the tone from the top is such that they just treat people anyhow, then maybe it is time for you to leave the organization. Maybe, I put maybe because no two cases are the same. It's possible you shouldn't even have been working the organization before. Maybe you just went there because of money that you saw. So there are so many dynamics that are tied to this. But let me keep it simple. Don't be in a hurry to say a boss is unreasonable. Find out what are their pain points. Be a source of solving their pain points. Help them solve problems. Go engage with them. Ask them about their welfare. Some of these so-called bad bosses are going through things that are impacting their productivity at work. And they just need somebody who will put a human face and not just look at them from a transactional basis and actually show concern about them. And they will open up. You will be the one they will be confiding in and say, don't mind those other colleagues. Oh, yeah, come. But you have to also apply wisdom so that as you are doing it, those ones who go and cook. Now we're entering into other realms now. There's no time. But just trust the Holy Spirit to help you. But I think I should just make it simple. First of all, find out what the boss's pain points are and trust God to lead you to help them solve their pain point. if you can solve that, that solved most of the problem. There may be exceptions, but oftentimes I've seen that work a lot. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm sure, please, if you could resonate with that, can I see your emoji? If that made sense to you, can I see your emojis? Is it only me and Pastor Bukunmi that we are talking to each other? I'm not seeing any emoji.
No, Zoom at times to look for where the emoji is a bit of a challenge. So,
okay, yeah. So now I'm seeing some emojis. Now, this is extremely critical because in Read, at the end of the day, what we focus on is how to actually create wealth and increase value. The truth is, there is no way you can create wealth if you are stuck on the same job role for 10, 15 years. You will become toxic, I can assure you. You won't even know it because the diminishing returns will set in. And that is what we've really been discussing about today in one way or the other. How to actually bring you out of that role you are and position you. Some people might need to pivot, some people might need to change their relationship with somebody. And I will drop a bit here because, this is really people are my family. So I'll say this. Somebody said, and I agree, that there are 3 rooms where destinies are being discussed: the boardroom, the bedroom, and the throne room. I will leave the throne room out of it, and I would discuss about the boardroom and the bedroom. When people say these things that, say they are picking their own people, honestly, I don't understand what that means. I always ask, how did you live your life that your names are not being mentioned in rooms that matter? It's a relationship issue. And we need to take cognizance of it. Another thing that is very critical, as we said, there's not plenty time here, and we are mindful of our Saturdays. And I'm grateful to see the number of people on the call, is in the bedroom. I took a talk that went viral some 3 years ago, and I was talking about the side chick. A number of people answered to me. Every man is controlled by a woman. It's that simple. It's either his wife, his girlfriend, his daughter, his sister, or his mother. In ancient Egypt, it was so bad that they had a throne for the queen, for the mother of the queen, of the king, of the pharaoh, because they understood the power of the woman in his life. I remember a mentee of mine that I was coaching, and the guy came to meet me and said he was having problem with his boss, and I smiled. And I looked at him. I said, have you ever spoken to this man before? The man is an expatriate. He said, if I see him coming on the corridor, I will run. I said, you think the man is not noticing? You will go next week. You will go and greet the man. His family is not in Nigeria. Ask him how he's doing. Go and do your research work. Find out his children's birthday. Put it on your DP. There are things that does not cost you anything. No. Call him and say, happy birthday to your child. In less than 2 months, that man became his best friend. He came to meet me, said the man is coming to ask me about my career. The man is asking me, do you want to come to my country? I will sponsor you. In less than 2 months. And that's why I agree 100% with Pastor Bukunmi. You will not be there when the critical decisions in your life is being made. Trust me, nobody will come and ask you. Will people come and ask you, will you be promoted? You won't be there now. You are not in those rooms. But what you do in that room, or what you do outside that room, would determine how you are being regarded. I come in peace. I don't want to talk more than that. Stella, he who has an ear, let him hear. But if what I've said resonated with you, can I see your reaction in the chat room? Let me see your reaction. Okay, so we have people that are going to have better working relationships going forward. Now, the next question, sir. I don't know why people are not asking questions. Too. The next question is, and I just have two more questions and I'll call it a day if nobody's asking questions, is in an age where balance and rest has become crucial, this work-life balance and work-life integration, we don't even know what is worth again. I keep saying that what we are facing right now, my dad died some 32 years ago. He does not understand this problem because he never had a cell phone or a personal computer till he died. So when he leaves the office, work is in the office, really. He comes home with books and all of that, but you can't compare. Right now, your boss will call you, you will see WhatsApp, you will see, our life is just so busy. And you've spoken about trying to do extra, trying to do extra. How do we build this balance without burning out? Thank you.
Okay. Hey, hold up, please. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Shouldn't have asked me that question. I just said let us close and be going. Uh, because we're all on the journey. Okay, so I think first things first, having a support structure is very key. Having a support structure is very key, and knowing when to actually shut down. Because, ladies and gentlemen, some years ago, one of the most painful experiences of my career, one of my colleagues died. She passed on. Funny enough, I didn't even cry when she died. It was during a burial program, the service of songs, when I came out to say something. I was just crying. I could not speak for almost 2 minutes. I was just crying. I mean, I cried in public. The tears were, they could feel a cup. Let me say bucket. Yeah, I was crying. I was crying. And what I found is that at the end of the day, yes, I love to work. I love working. I at times, I won't say I'm an example of somebody who's found a perfect balance, because I don't think there's a perfect balance. What I believe is that you have to be able to find what works for you and know that there are seasons where you may have to sacrifice a bit more. And then there are seasons where you must be able to find a balance in investing time when it's necessary. For example, the way I find my balance oftentimes is that I hardly work weekends. So, but I could be at work on regular work days. I could be at work till late in the day. But when I get home, you hardly see me open my laptop after I get home. No, you hardly see me. And weekends, oftentimes I could sit with my daughter by the grace of God, playing puzzles with her. She wants to paint this. She's asking me questions. We're just laughing together and all of that. A lot has changed over the years. That has happened. My team composition has happened. I've grown also to be better. But
Okay. Now we are losing you again. Can anybody hear me? We just Pastor Bukunmi, we can't hear.
We can hear you, but we can't hear him.
Okay. I think he's having challenges with his network. So what I'm going to add to what is said is we had a very amazing session in the Reed family on time management last, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It's very crucial that you self-audit yourself and self-audit your time. Shakespeare says, to thy own self be true. Look at tasks that you are struggling with and look for tools that would help you with those tasks. Initially, it might be difficult. Believe me, it will be difficult. Anything you start afresh will be difficult. So, like, if you need to work with numbers a lot, you have to know the right tools to use. And in this age of AI, you must be able to know what tools that you would use that would increase your efficiency and reduce your time? Personally, and people find it shocking, I'm not the best writer in the world, though. And yes, I've authored a book, but I leveraged on tools. Okay, yeah, my Read family people are reminding me that it was last Sunday we had it. I leveraged on tools to help me with those difficult tasks. And before you knew it, I started having the time to free for myself for other things. And please, as Andy, I'm hoping that it would come back soon. There is no reward for who suffer pass. Please, you must know when to shut down and take rest. The time management session was very, very awesome. Unfortunately, it was only for the in-house people, and I hope people are practicing it because you have to be able to schedule time for what is important to you. I can't go over that here. So please take trainings on time management, self-management, and you keep improving. As I said, it's a journey. You keep improving on it. Yeah, someone is asking the person, and read, you people, you are supposed to label yourself with your names. As a young professional, how can you ensure you are reliable and dependable at the workplace when you are just learning the ropes, especially because being dependable and reliable fosters relationship? Pastor Bukunmi, are you back? Do you want to take that question? Hello. Okay, so I would take it. Number one, seek for clarity. So when you're given a task, because that's actually how you build your trust currency. In my book, I spoke about currency, about trust as being a currency. You actually trade it. When people give you task and you deliver on the task to time, to specification, people trust you and they give you more. That's why they always say the reward for good work is more work. Nobody is going to promote, unless those people are jokers. Nobody is going to promote people that the task that you've given them, they can't even do it. Then you now go and give them more. Nobody is going to do that. You have to have been able to show competence that yes, you can do this. And one of the ways you do that is you look around, you look for people that are willing to show you the ropes. You are saying you are learning the ropes. You are looking for people that are willing to show you the ropes. And I always tell people that it's not by constituting yourself as a nuisance, because everybody has their own work. Before you go and meet the person, you will have done serious research. I keep repeating, this is the best time to be alive. When we were just joining the workforce, internet was just coming, it was limited. How many of us even had our own personal laptops, not to talk of internet? Right now, you have YouTube, you have AI, you have this. By the time you are coming to meet somebody and the person sees that you've already done lots of research, the person will be willing to show you more. And by the time you are through with that task and you go and give your supervisor, the supervisor is looking at you and going like, okay, it'd be like, say, this one, I can depend on the person. Let me give the person another task, then another task. And before you know it, as I tell people, the more task you're given, the more visible you become. So you'll be careful how you go back to your supervisor. Remember, your supervisor is the one that is rating you. What you need to ask from your supervisor is clarification of the task. If you get stuck, you can go and meet your supervisor. But if you always go back and meet your supervisor every time, the person is going to find the person that can do the work. And I equally tell people, very important, when they are asking for the weakest person in the team, make sure it is not your name they will ask, they will put up. For no reason. And that's where this branding thing comes in. Because there will be times I'm like, who is our weakest link? Who is our strongest link? And those are the kind of things you should be striving for. I hope that answers the question. Is Pastor Bukunmi back? Oh, he's not even been able to log back in. Wow. Does that answer your question? Okay, yes. She said yes, it does. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. I believe it has been a very, very enlightening night. We spent almost 2 hours on just one topic. Normally, we have two different speakers, but I wanted us to really deep dive into this because I believe that's a very strong start for us in 2026. For you to be able to make more money, you have to get higher job roles. When you change job roles, your pay will change. Next month, we'll be talking about money. I will be reviewing my book, my first book. I wrote my first book some 2 years ago. Where is the money? And yes, unlike Pastor Bukunmi, my book is not free. However, for if you're coming through Read, the e-copy is 3,005. I'm ready to give it out for 2,000. Kike, please drop your contact, get how people can reach you. Kike is going to give you the link if you reach out to her on how to get the e-copy for 2,000 naira, and the hard copy is going for 7,000 naira, but I'll be giving it out to the Reed family for 4,000 naira. And next month, we'll be demystifying money, how to build wealth as a salary earner, because a lot of people struggle with it. A lot of people die poor, and it's absolutely unnecessary. Follow us on our Instagram and we will be dropping updates. We'll equally be having a 28 days money challenge, because just like everything, making money is actually a mindset. And with that, we have come to the end of this webinar. Thank you to all the people that joined us. I can see that a number of people stayed late. I'll just open up the mic for one or two people to tell us what they've gained, so that it's not only my voice. So if you want to speak, can you raise your hand? While you're raising your hand, I would call someone. Ernest from Philippines, you started by speaking to us. Let's hear your voice. Did the webinar meet your expectation? Ernest, can we hear you? Okay, while he's preparing, can we hear you, Jared? Jared, how did you find the webinar? Hello, Jared. Are you still with us? Okay, Olutayo, your hand is up. Can we hear your voice? Thank you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
It's good morning from here. I'm calling in from Canada. It's been a pleasure, and I want to say this is a very good program. I'm really blessed, and I hope to join more. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Tayo. This is your first time with us. Please give him the first timers welcome. Can we have somebody else? Odun Adebayo, can we hear you? How was the webinar? George Ugu. Kunle Olatubosu. I'm calling out the names.
Hello.
Hello,
Good
aha, thank
evening.
you.
Good evening. It's been very informative. The webinar has been very informative. And I particularly will give, I'm particularly very, very impressed with the question raised, madam. They were speaking to some incidents and some, they were speaking to me in some areas of my work. So I appreciate it. It was very, very informative and educative for me in person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. Okay, I see that Pastor Bukunmi is back. So now we can end with our usual read tradition. Please, can we unmute our mic and tell Pastor Bukunmi, thank you. God bless you. He did this. He gave us his book for free, came to speak for free. Everything is free. So please, let's unmute our mics and tell him,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much, sir. Thank you, Pastor Bukunmi.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.